Hey YouTube, it's Prime13 coming at you with another Transformers video review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the BTT Bad Troop Toys 02 Commander, which is their take on a MP/DLX scale Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime. Now, I should mention this is actually my fourth attempt at this review because I had several troubles along the way. Not really because of the toy. So the first time I had the camera work all messed up, and I was trying to figure out whether I should use the big tripod or the little one, and it ended up needing to be both. And then the second time this guy's been sitting around, so I hadn't transformed in a while, and I'd been meaning to get to the review, and I got lost. So I decided to stop, take a refresher, and look up a video, transform a couple times just to remind myself. And then the third time, I mistransformed him anyway, even though the thing I was doing wrong was literally staring me in the face because I had forgot to compress his arms, and I was getting frustrated not understanding what I was doing wrong. Literally, I even made a comment on it while I was filming that the arms looked like they were in the wrong position, and they were because I hadn't compressed them. So yeah, this is my fourth and absolutely final attempt, regardless of how this goes. But I'm hoping this time we'll get it right. So that's part of the reason this is taking so long to get around to that, and just had a lot of stuff to do. I still have lots of reviews to do. But yeah, enough of that. Let's take a quick look at the box. I'm actually gonna move you off to the side. Here we have some rendered artwork of their Optimus, and if you look, it is actually not the toy. It is like an actual render. There's differences in how the chest and stuff is structured. So, and it even says on the back it's not an actual picture of the figure, but Commander Alloy Edition Boutique Model. On the top we just got that again. Not really much to the side. We do get a QR code instead of instructions. I'm not a fan of that. I prefer physical instructions, even if they're not great. We get a look at some of the accessories here, and yeah, except for the gun, everything there is two of, so plenty of various accessories. And then if we take a look at the bottom, there's a whole lot of nothing, and then on the back, the package picture is only for reference. Please refer to the actual product. Like I said, this is not the actual toy. But yeah, that's it for the box. So we'll get that out of the way. No instructions as mentioned, so we will move on to the figure himself. So, very nice figure. Has plenty of little painted details. We got some little yellow there on the arm. Plenty of little mechanical highlights. Like if we come here to the inner thigh, we got all sorts of wires and springs. Lots of silver dry brushing. Got some black speckles for battle damage and whatnot. Some nice silver here on the windows. Get some more of that nice detailing going all around. And the legs and the torso, just all around plenty of nice details. So, and we got some down here in the legs with these pistons, all very nice looking. He definitely looks very nice. So, next thing, we should talk about his articulation. And I just knocked my stool over. Yeah. Like I said, I got a bunch of stuff lying around because I have so many reviews to do. Anyway, so for articulation, we do get 360 at the shoulder. We do get a butterfly joint. We do get a bicep swivel. It's very snug, but you do get it. If you fold this down, you do get quite a bit of elbow bend, a little over 90. You do want to make sure that that's folded up though. We do get a wrist tilt, which is nice, and it is on a rotation, and we do have fully posable hands, So that's definitely a plus in my book. You get a ball joint hinge for the thumb, then ball joint hinge for the fingers. So you get plenty of posability in those hands. The head is on a ball joint. You get plenty of movement there. And the little platform it on does kind of wiggle around, but it's not a major issue or anything. We do get an ab crunch, and he does have like the moving spine bits in the back. So we do get movement at the hip skirts. These ones come up. They are on a hinge and a rotation. These are on a double hinge, very small double hinge. And then these are on ball joints, but they are a little bit restricted. So coming here to the legs, there is a, if I can get this one to move, it's always really tight on this side. I don't know if I'll be able to get that to move or not. Yeah, this side never, for some reason this side is just way too tight, it doesn't move. But we do get a thigh drop down, as you can see, so he can kick all the way forward and all the way back. We do get a side kick splits. Move that back up in there. Do get double jointed knee for a full knee bend. That's not supposed to do that. It's just a friction joint, but yeah, that's not supposed to do that so easily. Give me a second to fix this. Emergency maintenance. That. Oh. Whew, I saw a sprue mark, and for a second I thought the tab snapped off. That gave me a heart attack. Okay, that's back where it's supposed to be. And we get ankle tilt and up and down due to a hinge, and you can move his feet side to side, as well as a toe bend. Now, something about the feet is they do have several parts here that I didn't bring these blue parts out all the way. These blue parts are supposed to come out as well as the sides of the feet, but these don't really lock in, so it's easier just to leave them as is. But yeah, they are technically supposed to come out, but it's kind of just too much of a hassle, honestly. Besides, you're not going to look at the bottom of his feet that often, so. But now that we've talked about that, let's do some size comparisons. So, first of all, here he is next to the official movie masterpiece, Bumblebee Prime. Let me get these guys better shot. Just so you have an idea of how he stacks up against the official masterpiece. And again, that's part of the reason I think he's actually DLX scale, that and all the extra details. We have been getting some big figures that are labeled as DLX scale. A couple of those figures being the Magnificent Mecha and Lucky Cat. And I'll say that Magnificent Mecha is still by far my favorite, but in his defense, this guy is like $150 to $200 more depending on where you buy him. So he definitely has a lot more put into him, and he's just overall got a lot more, I think, quality of engineering got into him. And what I mean by that is, like, it feels like they took their time designing everything, so he like kind of comes together a little smoother, really. But yeah, this guy is still good. He's my number 2 out of these. Lucky Cat is kind of on my bad side because the first time I ever transformed him, he self-destructed and broke in like 3 different places. I actually had to get this entire top piece replaced, so in fact I don't think I ever even bothered to do the review for him because I just didn't want to. But yeah, 1, 2, and 3 in that order. But yeah, I still like all 3 of them to some extent. I will say that I think I like Lucky Cat's design of the weapons with that sort of transparent yellow. I do like that. But other than that, I think this guy is better. And speaking of weapons, he does come with quite a few. Let me pull my stool back up. So we get two arm cannons, and they are actually mirrored. They're not the same hand twice, which, hooray, because we've had some problems with that from other places. Not going to say any names. We get two Energon axes, and you can sort of see what I mean. Like, this is just painted orange. Overall, all the other paint details really make up for it, because like they even put like scuffing and like dry brushing on the weapons. It's just like I kind of wish there was a little bit more to this, but that is, you know, most people could probably fix that with a paintbrush. I'm not really good at that stuff, but it doesn't bother me enough for me to really care. It's just a nitpick. We get two swords with handles. Then we get two swords for his wrist blades. And you can see they have different attachments. And then we get a singular ion blaster. Now, as far as these weapons go, the hand cannons, the blaster, and his head do all have lights. The one in his head is kind of hard to push the button. It's right back here. It's this square piece right here. Probably doesn't come across because it blends in pretty well, but you can push it. You can see his lights come on, but it's hard to get it to push all the way in. But since I want to show you the batteries, to do that you just unplug these. They just tab on, and then you separate his head, and there are the batteries, and I believe they are LR41s. I'm pretty sure that some other place on the internet will have it specifically, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But if you see, we can push this in, and now that it actually stays on. It's just the way that it all fits in there isn't the best. Also, he does have a removable faceplate, so you can get this to look. He's got the sculpted movie mouth. Go ahead and put that back on, and then we'll put his head back together. And then we just want to put these back on. Come on. There we go. So there is the light in his head. As far as the arm cannons, they do have this little spinny bit right here, which is neat. Their button is this little copper bit right here. Just push that in, and it actually is a very deep red in person. It does look a little bit brighter and maybe a bit orangish on camera, but it's actually a very nice deep red in person. As far as replacing the batteries, this whole assembly just comes undone, and then there's the battery compartment, and I do believe that everything takes the same batteries. So, but it seems like these actually come with batteries installed on all the copies, so probably won't have to worry for at least a little while. To get the gun on his hand, you can see there's a slot here. We basically just want to sort of clench his fist like so, and it'll slide over. And for some reason my right hand one is a lot more finicky than the left one, but yeah, it doesn't like to actually snag on quite right most of the time. I may have just put the wrong one on, I don't know, but I mean, I do know it's upside down. But there we have him, come on, with his blaster arm, and again you can, you know, turn that on. So there's how that looks, and again you do get one for each arm. So there. No, I want the whole thing. Come here. So there is the arm blasters. Put those off to the side now. And we do get the ion blaster, and the battery cap is just this end piece. It just slides right off. There are the batteries. And the button is this little white piece right here. And it is actually extremely bright. I accidentally blinded myself in the third attempt of this because I had it facing straight at me when I turned it on. But very bright. The handle does move back and forth, but when it's actually in his hand, it kind of does restrict it, so you basically just want it in the default position. Unfortunately, we don't get the cool clip thing with this gun, but by no means is that necessary. But it is a tab in slot connection, and it is a bit of a heavy piece, so it may not stay in his hand the best. It won't fall out super easy, but it is pretty easy to knock it out of his hand if you bump into him or something. But we will go ahead and open up his hand, slide these tabs. I need to maneuver this thumb out of the way. Slide this into his hand. Come on. There we go. And there we have it in his hand. And he can blast the wall away. Because, yeah, that LED is bright, dude. Anyway, gimme. You don't need that anymore. And again, we do get the... Oop! I accidentally punched you guys, I'm sorry. We do get both axes. And they do have tabs on both sides, so they are universal as far as his hands go. And they do have 2 connection points, so you can have him holding them at the high end here, because I sort of accidentally break his thumb. Now it's twisted all weird. So you can have him hold it at the higher point, or if you want, you can have him hold it here. The lower point, that is not where the slot is in his hand. So yeah, he only ever really used one axe in the movies, but if you want to give him a techno Viking kind of vibe, you can have him use 2. So that's pretty neat. Take away those. Then we get the 2 swords with handles, and again they do have tabs on both sides, so you can have him hold them in either hand. And we'll go ahead and put this on this side. Come on, get in there. There we go. And now he can give the world's most painful prison shiv to Scourge. And then we have the 2 wrist-mounted blades, and as you can see, they are different connectors, one for each arm. And the way they work is you're gonna connect it here on this sort of T-post looking piece. You open up his arm here, like so, and there's this groove right here, and that's just gonna tab in right like so, and then you're just gonna close this up again as I untab that. There we go. Nope. There. And now he has the wrist-mounted sword as well. And again, you do get those for both arms. It works the same way on both sides. So there is that. Go ahead and take that away. And those are all of his accessories. He does not come with any sort of matrix, so there's none of that. that's pretty much it for all the additional features. Really, it's mostly just about his posability and articulation as far as the robot mode goes. But this is the part where I am going to switch to my smaller tripod because it's going to be a little bit easier on my back and easier to film the transformation since I don't need to be so far back. But we will be right back. Okay, and we're back. Sorry for the drastic change in quality. I was actually filming and the battery in my camera died before I finished, and for some reason a bunch of panels weren't lining up again. I guess this thing is just cursed to not transform on camera. I don't know, so whatever happens at this point happens. But I did want to do one more comparison I meant to do earlier, and that's next to Brave Troop Toys' Bumblebee. I do think that their Bumblebee was executed a little better, but overall they are both still very good figures. But I did want to make sure to show him off. Anyway, let's get into this transformation. This is technically take 5 after all. Anyway, so first things first, you want to make sure his fists are balled up. You're going to open up these panels on his arms, rotate this around, and it does tell you to flip the fists in like this. I personally think that they sit in a little better if you turn them around and then push them in. Then we want to come to this panel and slide it down. Do the same for the other side. Flip in the fist. Rotate this around, slide this panel down. Alright. And we're going to come up here to the shoulders. Bring this up a little bit. We want to untab this piece here and bring this straight out. And then this whole piece will slide around. Do that on the other side. We're going to untab, straighten it out, and slide this whole piece around. Then we're going to come to the back and trying my best to keep this in the shot. This little bit on top, this piece on top here, we are going to untab like so. We're going to come under here to these sections, and getting them tabbed in is kind of a hassle on this side. For some reason I never have trouble with this side, but just something to point out. But we're just going to untab that and then straighten this piece out. We're going to untab, straighten that out. And then we're going to come up here and flip up these little gray pieces. And that will be it for the back for the moment. Now we're going to come over here to the front. And we're going to open up the chest, and there are like several points where things are supposed to like tab in inside his chest. They don't really, but again the joints are all pretty solid, so it doesn't really matter. But we're going to bring down this gray piece like so, and we're going to bring this up, bring it up from underneath, fold these out to the side, and then fold this down from above. Going to slide his head forward on that little platform it's on, and then we're going to just pull this whole assembly forward like so. Then we can rotate this whole section 180 like so. And then we want to come here and just compress this whole section together as he tries to slide out of my hand. Press that whole section together, form that grill. Alright, let's see, where are we now? I'm going to lift that up. We do need to come in here to this section right here. Is going to untab like so. Untab on the other side like so. Bring this whole section down. And then we're going to take these two red pieces. This one with the tab goes down first. fold the other one over on top of it, and then yeah, we want that set like this, and we're just gonna kind of leave that off for now. Then we're going to come here to his butt plate, and we want to bring this whole section down, fold these two pieces in together, and then just move that down in between his legs. Gonna come here to his waist and untab these two sections here and bring them out like so, and then flip that tire out, bring that out, flip out that tire, and then should be able to rock this whole top section back on this big armature here. Now we want to get his head tucked into this little cavity of the arm here. So you can twist it, move it in and twist it back into position, but honestly it's just more straightforward to just kind of push it in there, just like so. Now we are going to take these up on these double hinges and move them inward like so. Move it in like so. And there are little, oh I forgot, keep forgetting things. I want to rotate these forward first. Come on. And there's a little slot here and a little tab on the end of this, and this will all come together like so. Oh, come on, Evan, there we go. Now we want to work on the arms. We're gonna come all the way back down. And so for the arms, we're going to move this out of the way. You need to compress this bicep all the way up. And these are pretty stiff, so you might need to wiggle it up like so. You're going to flip this piece up on the elbow. You want to bring his arm to a full bend. Do the same on the other side. Just compress that, flip up that piece, come to a full bend. Now we want to deal with this whole upper section. We want to bring these out to the side, bring this back. We do want to close the windows, and there is a tiny little clear peg right here on the corner of the window, and there are two tiny little holes here. Now the first time I did plug them in, and transforming him actually cracked that peg. You might even be able to see where that stress mark is, where that peg is, right here. So if you actually just close these and continue transforming him, everything eventually shifts into place, so don't worry about plugging them in. But we do want to fold this over, and we want to make sure that this piece is folded all the way in. And be aware there's like several hinges in this whole assembly, so if something's not quite fitting, just readjust the hinges. But essentially you want to have these out to the side. I need to move these arms out of the way. And you want to bring this whole section down. Bring these out more. Bring this whole section with the horns and stuff on top. Again, it's catching. Not supposed to do that? Okay, I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to bring it down, not up. My bad. Bring this whole thing down. Come on. Come on. There we go. Get that in there. And then these pieces are going to come down on the side and sort of clip in. You can see there's like a little bit of windshield there on the edge. And clip this in like so. Now we get to try and move these arms in, so I'm going to bring these shoulder pieces up and out of the way as best I can. And you want to make sure that these pieces from the sides are flipped up inside. And just flipped up. They're kind of loose on their own, so they tend to flip up on their own. But essentially, it is the usual Optimus G1 cab arm spiel. But a couple things to note. That's not compressed all the way. There is the butterfly hinge in here. Oh, crap! I forgot. I keep forgetting things. You want to make sure these gray tabs from the top of his back fold up all the way in. And bring that down. Reconnect these like so. Then, so where were we? Right, the arms. So the butterfly joints are here. You want to make sure that they're pushed all the way to the front and that the little round part is sticking as far out to the side as you can. And you want to make sure that the elbows are bent all the way up. You want it at a 90 degrees angle. Let me just sort of slide that all in there. And missed another step. You need to take this, make sure that this piece is compressed, and my battery light's on. Great. But we want to slide this all together, and this is supposed to be out. Slide that in like so. And we'll move those arms in. You want to get those arms all the way in there. Again, make sure that you orient those butterfly joints properly. Get everything squeezed in there. Same on this side, make sure that those butterfly joints are all the way forward and all the way out to the side. Make sure the arm is bent all the way up. Bring this inside. Come on. Get in there. Get in there. Go. Go. Alright. Now we want to sort of shift this all back, and the elbow should be sitting right above this like gap covered up by the skirt, right above his leg. And then we want to flip this piece back out of the way. Flip this back and out of the way. But now we want to bring this section forward. And there's tab slots here and here for this tab and this tab, and we're going to bring those forward. Bring that forward. And again, this is not sitting at the proper angle for no visible reason. Okay, get that tabbed in, get that tabbed in. Now it's coming untabbed on the bottom. I never have these troubles doing it off camera, only on camera. See, we're going to close this up. Okay, I think I actually got it in there. Okay, so as we're bringing this grill down, we want to move these two pieces into these sort of slots of the grill here, and get those in there. We need that. Get that in there. Get that in there. down again. You need to get this in there. And so as we bring the grill bumper piece down, we want to bring these headlights in, and these two tabs are actually going to peg into those pieces we just moved into place, like so and like so. Then we're going to come underneath, and these two gray pieces are going to tab into the wheel well, like so. Like so. Okay. Now we can actually do this back section. Want to make sure that these are out properly. Then we're going to tab them together here in the middle, like so. Then fold these two pieces over, and you want to bring them together at the same time so they interlock as you go in there. And why is that even supposed to move like that? Anyway, you want to bring this panel down. Not that fart. We do want to come in here and flip out this little triangle piece. And as we fold this around, you'll see it fills in that gap. And you want to slide this piece forward, like so. And again, why is that? There we go. It's supposed to be sitting at that angle. That was weird. And then we want to do the same on the other side. We want to flip out that triangle and bring that in, push it forward, bring this whole top section down like that. Just try to get that all in place. Bring this little panel down. We do want to bring these panels down part of the way, but not all the way yet, because we will need to leave them for the legs. And then with this silver piece, we wanted this little slot and tab right there. And I'll do the same with the other side. And you can orient those smokestacks and extend them. And now we can move on to the legs. I finally made it to the legs on camera, finally. Alright, so legs. First thing we are going to do is we are going to come in here to the inner leg and unplug this, lift this blue piece up, then we're going to double hinge this up like so, bring this out, and then the shin is on a double hinge, and you want to move it inside the leg like so. And you do want to bend the knee all the way and bring this down, kneecap piece here with the lights painted on it, bring it all the way down. It's going to slide under this little bar piece, and we can fold that back up like so, and you can sort of see how the legs moving around. I'm gonna flip these wheel pieces around, and they'll sort of soft lock into place. Then we come up here, lift this up, flip out the trailer hitch piece, bring that up, extend the foot on this hinge arm, and we want to rotate it 180. And you want to make sure to compress these blue pieces if you haven't already accidentally done it. And we're going to move this whole foot inside and then close that over the top. Then we're going to do the same with the other side. Bring this up, accordion it, and they are slightly different. And this time the blue piece is attached to this section, and it is on a longer hinge. I'm going to bring that up, bring the foot down, rotate it 180, compress those toe pieces. You want to flip out this piece here. Going to flip those tires. Oh wait, hold on. Need to do the knee piece. If I can get this in the shot. Do that knee piece. don't catch on me now. The heck? Okay. Coming apart here. In fact, the knee is actually coming apart there a little bit. Okay, there we go. Bring this. What the heck? Did the entire knee just come apart? Are you kidding me? There we go. Jeez. This thing is determined to ruin my review. Never had a toy literally start disassembling on me. Flip the wheel, take this part, it's just a friction joint. Reconnect that and hope my battery actually lasts till the end of this. Are you serious? Should be in bed right now, but no, I'm filming this stupid thing. Okay, there, got the foot in, bring this over, flip that over, like so. Now we can bring the legs together. There's a post, and then this is a very thin piece of plastic. You don't have to push it all the way in, just enough to like catch and keep the legs stable together. So I never push it all the way in, as things start cracking in unpleasant ways. There we go. Then we bring this together, tab those trailer hitch pieces, and then we want to double hinge this piece to cover up those sections there in the middle, like that. And then this little piece will go over this tab right here. So like so. Then we come back here, squish everything together. And these pieces are really tight. I had to loosen the screws the first time I did this, but you want to rotate these, and they're trying to come on. I don't know why that was catching so much. Rotate it, tab these together, and then bring these over the back of his feet, and that's sort of his rear bumper. Would have been nice if they put some like tail light decals there or something, but it is what it is. Okay. Now for our final few steps, we want to accidentally untab everything. Great. There we go. You're going to come here to this spot and open up this panel. You're going to flip out these gas tanks, and you might have to sort of maneuver it around. Then you want to bring the hip skirt in, and this gas tank is going to tab into this slot as you close it. And you do want to make sure it's scooted all the way up, like so. And then this will move on a diagonal slider and lock that closed. And we're going to do the same here. Open it up, flip this out, push that all the way forward, close it up, slide that up. Now for our last little bit, we want to make sure that this piece, there are little tabs in the arm that it'll sort of slot in, it'll sort of click onto. And then this whole assembly, this slot is going to go over on this tab on the legs. So we're going to bring that down and just close that up. And bring this down, close that up. Just okay, I finally managed to film the whole transformation. Hooray! Anyway, battery's about to die, so I'm gonna magically disappear again for a second. Okay, we're back with the other camera again, but so yeah, I finally managed to make it through the whole transformation properly. No, wait, I didn't. Now I made it through. Always forget that last little bit. But yeah, I don't know why this has fought me so much on camera. The fact that I've had to do basically 5 different attempts at this review has driven me absolutely mad. And I have to keep reminding myself I do enjoy this toy because it's actually fun when it's not trying to drive me clinically insane. And yeah, normally I enjoy the transformation and it's intuitive, and I really like a lot about the way this figure works. I really like that they actually put some effort into the back. It doesn't just look like a pair of legs. It actually feels like the back of a truck. That's got the trailer hitch. It's not obviously just a pair of legs. I mean, it is if you turn it upside down, but it actually looks like somewhat of a truck bed from the top. I really, really like that. Even Magnificent Mecha didn't quite get that. They at least did something with it, but they didn't go this far. But yeah, I do like this toy. It has really, really tested my patience with these reviews. I do like it. But we'll do a couple quick comparisons. So here he is with Magnificent Mecha mold. This is the Nemesis one, but as you can see. And again, Magnificent Mecha does have a bit of a cleaner appearance. Though it is based off the Bumblebee movie, not the Rise of the Beast version. So there is a little bit less going on in the front. But overall, you can see there's a lot less panel lines. But again, they really, really did do a lot with the back there. And I really do like that they actually put a lot of effort into concealing the back. And I like that the gas tanks plug in really easily, because that is something that is not so great about Magnificent Mecha. That's probably one of the biggest issues I have with this transformation. And just for our mainline comparison, here he is next to the movie masterpiece, Optimus Prime. So there you can see how he stacks up with that. But yeah, again, it is a solid toy. I do like it when it's not trying to terrorize me. There is no weapon storage in the vehicle mode. This is actually probably one of the few times the trailer might have been warranted, although I'm not too worried about it. I can just put everything back in the box or in a baggie, so I'm not gonna stress about that too much. But I think this may have been one time where they could have gotten away with like a full trailer. And I don't know what trailer might work with this. I mean, it does have a hitch. I've heard that it's probably designed for the oversized MPP-10 or whatever it's called. I don't have it, and honestly, it's just another gray box I'm just going to throw in a bin, so I'm not really interested in getting it. But, yeah, overall, I do like this figure. That wheel is still not quite sitting the way it's supposed to. Yeah, these just kind of sit a little bit above the ground, don't they? I'm not sure if that's right. Well, I'm not gonna freak about it now. I've managed to get to the end. I'm not gonna stress about the small details. But yeah, I do like this figure most of the time, and it's definitely a nice budget Prime as far as like the big third-party masterpiece scaled ones. Because I think he was around 115-ish. So definitely cheaper than Magnificent Mecha. Around the same as Lucky Cat, but honestly, I think this guy is way better than Lucky Cat. So, I think that's about it for this review. I'm just going to go ahead and wrap things up, and hope everybody has a good day, good night, and all that. And this is Soul Prime 13 saying transform and soul out.